It was the summer of 2011, and just like any other summer vacation during my schooling years, I spent it playing street cricket with my gang of 20 to 25 friends. I reside in India, and here it is pretty much the ritual to play cricket in every street, being followed for years, well, at least till recent. These days you don't see kids playing outdoors that often. They all belong to the smartphone era. Well, I may have not had an iPhone at that time, but I sure am happy about that now. Oh, thank God, I spent my time outdoors involving in physical sports rather than sitting home all day like the couch potatoes you find these days. I'm not even that good at cricket, to be honest. I'm into basketball, but would play cricket till evening and then play basketball after 4 p.m. One could ask why I'd even play cricket in the first place. But it was ineluctable to not spend time with my buddies, and I thank God I did so, because the memories we had made are something that I still cherish of, and sometimes they keep me moving forward when I face hardships in life. My friends would usually try their best to stop me from leaving, and consequently I'd get the last turn to bat, so that I have no choice but to wait till it's all over. Now to get to that day, the weirdest day of my life. It was one such day in the summer life. I was at my 9th grade, and we had a basketball tournament at 3 p.m. So I decided I would just spectate the cricket game for the day, attempting to save some energy, and you could tell my friends were pretty bummed as they were short of one man. Well, midway through the match I decided to go home and get ready, adjacent to the pitch we played cricket in. While at the shower I heard my bell ring. I went midway to check who it was and found no one at the door. And went back to showering only to get interrupted again in a few seconds. I'd go back and find no one at the door. I crossed the door with just a towel, with shampoo dripping down my face, and with my partially open eyes I checked to see if it was my friends trying to pull a prank on me, and to my surprise I found every one of them playing seriously. I'd then go back to the bathroom, and this time would leave my door open. I was still convinced that it was the work of one of my friends, so as I tapped the shower on, and I was curious to know who my pranker was. Once I was done I switched on the TV and played some songs with full volume and started to eat my lunch. I just realized that the bell had been ringing continuously now, and fled off to the door just to find nobody there. This time I got pissed and searched the house as to know who was there. I even climbed upstairs, the staircase is outside my door, to see if someone was hiding there, and this time again I'd leave my main door open in pursuit of the search to my pranker, and fell short in this attempt too. I found no one. As for my family, everyone was at walk, so I was the only one home, so you can imagine. And when I got to the staircase to come back to the ground floor I heard the TV channels changing, and I got freaked out, wondering if there was some robbery or some sort. I got down only to find that everything remained unaltered, just the way I left it, just that my food was getting stale. The TV, to my surprise, had the same channel. I was relieved that my "there's an intruder at my house" theory was debunked. I'd finished my food, wear my basketball attire, and locked the door from outside, and as I sat down to lace up my shoes, I see an old man staring at me from the door. From the look on our eyes you can find immense disbelief. Mine giving the look of "who the hell are you?" and his had the look of "are you seriously kidding me, son?" From the look of it, he looked like a postman, but I've never seen him before, and I've lived there long enough to know the postmen around my locality. I asked him who he was and what he wanted. I wanted to shout at him for scaring me all of a sudden, but before I could let another word out he started yelling at me, and to sum it all up, apparently he's the on-duty postman substituting for someone, and he's been waiting there for the past 30 minutes. First time he rung the bell, I'd failed to notice him, and the second time I had come midway from the shower, so he decided not to bother me for a while. He thought I was showering, So I'd come sign the form and accept the post once I'm done with my bath. But I crossed the door and checked the gate, and looked around and no one was there. I told him, in my trembling voice. He added saying, "Yes, my son, you came almost naked and went to the streets to look at our friends, and on your way back you'd make eye contact with me, stare and leave. So I decided to wait till you were done." But minutes later I heard loud music from the hall and got furious as to how you had forgotten about me. I've had a long day and it's lunchtime for me too. So I'd ring the bell continuously, and this time you'd come midway from your lunch with rice on your hands, looked at me and then went upstairs. So I was wondering if you're going to call some elder, but you didn't do so. You would come back, look at me and then go back to have your lunch. By hearing all this I was astonished and quite stunned actually. The way he explained each and every one of my move, clearly indicating that he'd been here for a while, and he also mentioned that I had made eye contact with him. I apologized sincerely and received the post letter which was addressed to me. I never get any postcards other than my school grades, so I assumed it to be a spam or advertisement. I'd safely store the post letter in the storage, send the man off and leave for my tournament as it was already getting late. During the games I couldn't help but wonder how I can miss that man. I was trying to recollect his name so that I could send him a box of sweets during the upcoming festival as an act of apology. I'd never asked for his name, but however the name on his name tag/badge appeared familiar when I was addressing him. While coming back home from the game I'd realized that the familiar name was that of my grandfather, who had passed away a few months prior to this incident. Then I started making connections with his appearance to that of my grandfather. By this time I had already forgotten how he actually looked like, as I can only get my grandfather's image in his uniform. Once I got back home I'd tell about this incident to my mom, and she was advising me to be more aware from next time and asked me about the letter. She was surprised as to who on earth would send me a letter, as it was my summer break and the exams were already over, so it couldn't be my grades, and if it was an announcement from my school, still it should have been addressed to her or my father. So I went to show her my letter, and to my shock the letter had disappeared from the storage box I had promised my mom I had kept. To this day I'm still curious as to what happened to that letter that had my name on it.